Can I just go through and give you the meaning of the national security strategy that just came out from the president? And everyone is freaking out about it. And I think the president deserves a round of applause. The reason why everybody hates it is the exact opposite of what they've told us for 100 years we should be doing. And for 100 years, you've seen what we've done, and you've seen where it's gotten us. Nowhere, quickly. America is standing in this doorway right now, and behind us is the chaos that we've just lived through. Weakness, drift, bipartisan, foreign policy class that somehow has managed to squander the greatest advantage any nation has ever had. And just ahead, at least according to the national security strategy, is a course correction so sweeping that honestly it reads like a rediscovery of the American civilization itself. Because this is what this document is. It's not just a list of foreign policy goals. It is a declaration of what America actually is and what it must never allow itself to become ever again. For the first time in decades, the strategy admits the obvious, okay? We lost our way after the Cold War. Yeah, we did. Yeah. We tried to run the world while hollowing out the nation that was supposed to do the running. We were hollowing ourselves out. We outsourced our factories, we outsourced our borders, our sovereignty, and even, God help us, our sense of purpose. We have no purpose. We treated global institutions as if they outranked the Constitution, and they don't. We protected everybody else's borders except we let ours collapse. We defended, abstract world orders while neglecting the American worker who actually paid for everything. And this new strategy is outlined. I mean, it just says what you've been saying for a long, long time. Enough. I've had enough. And it lays out what Americans and America should want. And it starts with something, really revolutionary in its simplicity. It says we need a safe, sovereign republic that protects its people, strong families, strong industry, strong borders, strong energy, and a renewed culture that knows its own story and isn't ashamed to tell it. What is possibly wrong with all of that? Strong borders, strong families, strong industry, strong energy, renewed culture that knows its own story and isn't ashamed to tell it. That's why everybody's freaking out, because they don't want any of these things. None of the elites want those things. A sovereign republic? No. He's laying out we want the world's strongest military, but also the world's strongest economy and the world's strongest spirit. And without that, this policy says nothing else holds. And that's true. And it's true. It says the era of mass migration is over, not slowing it, not managing it, but ending it. We know that's true. It says the government's job is to protect God-given rights. Okay, where do you get that idea? I don't know. The Declaration of Independence. Why is that controversial? It's not to manipulate elections. It's not to police speech. It's not to hide behind bureaucratic language while crushing dissent. All of that is found in the Bill of Rights. It's not controversial. It demands allies actually act like allies and pay their fair share. Controversial? Doesn't seem like it. It promises reindustrialization. Did we learn anything from COVID? Is it a bad idea to have everybody else make our stuff and then we wait for boats? Energy dominance. A national defense industrial base that's built for the world we actually live in, not the world our think tanks wish existed. And then it turns outward. Then it begins to look outward to Europe and the rest of the world, because the rest of the world is shifting under our feet right now, and nobody's willing to say it. In the Western Hemisphere, we should return to something that we should have never abandoned in the first place. And that's what Raisin Cain was just talking about, the Monroe Doctrine. Call it the Trump corollary. But the principle is timeless. This hemisphere is ours to secure, and hostile powers will no longer get a free pass to set up shop in our backyard. How is that controversial? Cartels, it outlines, will become a national security target. Manufacturing comes home. Partnership replaces dependency. Then it talks about Asia, and the message is really clear. We'll compete with China economically, technologically, and militarily. And we'll do it from a position of strength, not by pretending that Beijing is suddenly going to go, you know what? We're just giant friendly teddy bear. No. We're going to do it by accepting the reality and prepare accordingly. But we'll still work with you. Just don't become an enemy of ours, and we won't become an enemy of yours. That means that we have to rebuild industry. It means we have to secure the minerals. We have to dominate the technologies of the future. It means that we ensure that no single power controls the Indo-Pacific waterways that keep the global economy alive. Hello, China, Taiwan, Japan. Then it gets to Europe, which, of course, we have colonial eyes on. Oh, my gosh. All this document says is what European leaders won't even dare whisper. Europe is dying. The entire continent is dying, not just economically, but as a civilization. The Western civilization is dying. Declining birth rates, uncontrolled migration, censorship, loss of identity, regulatory suffocation. We would like Europe to be strong again. Europe to be Europe again, stable, sovereign, confident, peace in Ukraine, stability with Russia, revival at home. That's what America would like, because it would be good for us, but it would also be good for Europe. Because if Europe collapses into chaos, the entire Western world will pay the price, and it will be a very heavy price. But they don't like that. Oh, no, you can't say that. Oh, Europe is pissed at us for saying that. Gang, we all know. Look at Europe. They're dying. They're dying. It won't be long. And if they don't change their ways and they do fall, this document also says something else. We're not going to honor NATO for any country that falls. You become a Muslim country, you're not a NATO country. You fall and you're some other country, you're not a NATO country. We're not defending you. Now, in the Middle East, this document says the forever wars is over. We declare them over. How is that not a good thing that we should all be celebrating? And not because the region suddenly became peaceful, but because America is finally strong enough strategically, diplomatically, militarily to shift from a constant crisis management to long-term stabilization. Iran has been weakened. Israel has been backed. The Abraham Accords are expanding. Energy dominance has returned to the U.S. What does that do? Well, that reduces the old chains that kept us entangled in every sand dune from Syria to Yemen. We're out. Finally, Africa. My gosh, what we have done to Africa with our State Department and USAID, all we do is export ideology instead of opportunity. Trump says in this national security document, that's over. We're flipping the strategy. Trade, minerals, energy, peace deals. No more lectures, no more nation building, no more endless aid with no accountability. Does any of this sound scary to you? Does any of this sound crazy to you? I don't think so. It's saying everything that seems common sense to me. It's saying America is allowed finally to love itself again and to be who she should be, and let everyone else be who they should be. It has a right and a responsibility to defend itself first, to put its people first. It's saying sovereignty is not a dirty word. Borders are not immoral. American workers are not expendable. Free speech is not negotiable. The nation state, not the NGO, not the global boardroom, not the transnational committee. That's the fundamental building block of a free world. How is this bad again? How is it that this is so dangerous? In short, it's a blueprint for a country that wants to live again. Really live again. Now, the question is, do we? Is the president reflecting the national spirit? Do we want to live again? Do we want to be relegated to the dustbin of history, or does America have other great work to do? Because that's really the question. Because strategy on paper, that's only words. Until a nation finds the courage to believe in itself again and saying, that's what we must do.
Because the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that